In today's session, we're going to show you how to add additional Springboard icons and edit the structure of the Fusion home screen delivered in the simplified UI. As the Fusion user, I have privileges assigned to the application implementation consultant role. I also have the IT security manager role and a number of other roles that make the Fusion user here at Oracle essentially the super user. You have to have the administration privileges to be able to customize the home screen in order to be able to do what we're going to do now. So how do we go about adding new icons to this Springboard? From underneath the navigator, we have a category called Tools, and under that we have an item called Structure. So we're going to click on Structure. Within the Structure screen, you can see that we have a hierarchy of sorts in which we have categories like our application incentive compensation. We have our own category, and within the category we have entity pages. Each one of these entity pages has a reference to content. The first one being our sales compensation work area delivered for Fuse, and the other ones are work areas that are assigned to given roles, like the compensation plan admin, the analyst, and so on. So depending upon who you are, you get different items within your navigator for incentive compensation. So you can think of this as providing the structure for the navigator. So if we had the incentive compensation role, you would see an additional category here for incentive compensation, and then whichever work area or reference that you have the privileges to see. To add our new Springboard icon, we first need to get into a sandbox environment. So from within this menu, I'm going to select Manage Sandboxes. Now you could create a new sandbox, and what that does is it always puts Apple Core long SB underscore in front of it, and then you can define a unique name. I've created one already, so I'm going to go find that one. And when I select this row, then I can set it as active. Entering the sandbox, yes. You can identify that we're in our new sandbox by this header up here. This yellow bar, it tells us which sandbox we're in. If I were to click on this, it would give us an opportunity to exit the sandbox. I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to go under the navigator, and we're going to select the structure from within the Tools menu. This opens up the Structures pane, and you can see within the structure a number of what they call categories. And underneath each category, there are a number of entity pages. I'm going to go down here and show you the incentive comp category. So this is the category level, and these are the page entities. We have one for the sales compensation work area and a number of others for different work areas secured by role. You can also within here set the visibility of the Springboard icon, whether or not it shows, and under what conditions. So we're going to create a new page entity underneath our incentive compensation category. We do that from the Create menu over here. So you can see you can also create new categories, but we're interested in creating a page entity. So our page is going to be called Commission Statement. I'm going to choose an icon. I'd like this little guy going up the stairs. Okay. Next item is category. Is it going to be top level, or is it underneath one of the existing categories? We have an existing category for incentive compensation, so we're going to select that. These next two items control the visibility of the page and its icon. So the first level lets us control whether or not it appears within the navigator. This one we're just going to set as yes. And then also a control for the Springboard, whether or not we can see it on the home screen when we log in. So we'll leave these two as yes. What kind of link, what kind of content are we pointing to? You can have an application page pointer to existing ADF content. You can create dynamic URLs. We can have static URLs. In our demonstration today, we're going to choose static URL. There are a number of security attributes that you can set, web application pointers, tokens, etc. We're not going to do that today. We're going to set a direct destination for this icon so that when you click on it in the Springboard, it takes us right to our commission statement report. On another tab, I have open the Business Intelligence OTBI application, and I've navigated here to the shared folders, incentive compensation, dashboards. This shows us all the out-of-the-box dashboards that are shipped with incentive compensation. Specifically, we're interested in the commission statement dashboard. And how do we get a direct reference to it? The simplest way is just to open the dashboard. Our screen has refreshed with the dashboard. I'm going to copy the URL from the browser, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to make that our destination URL. And then I'm going to save this. Now within our structure screen, you can see under the incentive compensation category, our new commission statement reference. You can click on this to get back to its attributes. Say maybe you wanted to set the visibility based upon an expression that determines whether or not the logged in user, so security context.user in role, is equal to the incentive compensation participant. I'm just going to set this back to yes. Or I could also just cancel. Now let's see whether or not this Fusion user has this as their Springboard. And you can see here's our new compensation statement icon within the simplified UI. If we click on our new Springboard icon, you can see that it spawns a new browser window and opens our commission statement dashboard. This particular dashboard didn't render with any data because the participant is an invalid user. The Fusion user is the super user and therefore not an incentive compensation participant, and therefore that makes them an invalid user, and that's why there aren't any pretty graphics and data coming back to this report.